How's everybody doing, guys? Maybe a little ill. I haven't streamed on YouTube for a while, but today the goal is to watch me add speech balloons, speed lines, and sound effects to like at least 3 chapters in Apple Black Volume 5. For those unfamiliar, we got Volume 4, the little countdown. Let's see here. We got Volume 4, 2, it's a weird countdown, so whatever. 3, and then 1. We're going live. And the goal here is to stream pretty much all the days as I edge towards completion. That sounded wrong. As I finish Apple Black Volume 5, as I complete it, I think I'm gonna try streaming multiple days. I'll try every day, but you know, there's sometimes I have to do other things. But I'll try to stream every day or every time that I'm working on the manga, period, right? So you guys can get to see behind the scenes stuff. And maybe even, you know, collaborating with manga assistants who have already done some work like backgrounds, and they'll do more when it comes to toning. I just need to prepare certain things for them, even coloring. And so it'll be a fun process where you guys get to see the behind the scenes. And this is the only place on YouTube, I believe, where you get to see this kind of stuff. So let the world know. Don't forget to like this video. Please like the stream. Support the stream. And if the stream gets more support, I'll do more streams, or at least I'll guarantee more streams. For now, I'm just gonna do them, and I think it'd be cool for you guys to see regardless. But if you guys support the stream, support the books, support everything, even the content that we have all over the place. You know, somebody even posted an image in, I think, New Jersey, seeing an Apple Black shirt in their Hot Topic. It had its own section. I don't know if you guys have been to Hot Topic and you have the books, you know, the shirts in the corner, and they have their walls. There's like an Apple Black stuff, which I thought was really cool. So I really hope this. I just put like music, Twitch safe classical music, but is this safe? I hope it's safe. We'll find out. But in the meantime, maybe I'll give my little commentary on it. Oh my god, is this safe? Is it not safe? Who knows? Fair use. I don't know. I don't think that's how that works. But we're gonna try and have fun with this. And let me see, what are you guys seeing? You guys are seeing me. And then I don't stream on YouTube often. I'll try to have most of the streams be here on YouTube, but I'll obviously do some on Twitch, so make sure you guys go follow me there as well. But again, like the stream. Please like the stream. Depending on how the streams do, I'll do more, you know? Streaming on YouTube, I don't know what the deal is. It's not really that common, or at least I don't think it is. But shout out to everybody who showed up to the stream. You know, also the more people who show up to the stream, that helps. But again, like the stream. And then now we'll be making that transition. These are how the pages are set up. These are, I believe, the last 3 chapters in Volume 5. So Volume 5 is going to go all the way to chapter 42. Meaning that Volume 6 is where we're gonna hit chapter 50, which I think is really cool. But hold on. You're gonna see me put speech balloons. Now, one thing I did want to mention when it comes to the speech balloons, calm down, Claire. So, one thing I did want to mention with the speech balloons is I hope these are royalty free. They don't seem royalty free. The speech balloons, you can see how weird they are. Sometimes in like Western comics, they're a little bit cleaner and nice and tidy. You know, the letterers deal with them sometimes. But especially in shonen manga, you can clearly see the creators just going ham, doing whatever they want. You have speech balloons that are in the way, like the character is in the way of the speech balloon. And you can see this very rough edge around it, especially for like something like a Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like really, really rough. Not necessarily rough, just quick. And that's a common thing. Jujutsu is not the first to do it. Bleach does similar things. Like all of them do it in their own kind of way, right? You see a little bit of that here, except this one is cleaner and the line weight is much thinner, right? The line weight is much thinner, but it's much, much cleaner, right? So you could have your own approach. The goal here, the point is to show you that, excuse me, there isn't one way of doing this. You look at Bleach, same thing. It's like really quick. Even the balloon tail, which is the part that points to usually the character's mouth or wherever the sound is coming from, it's like really, really rough and messy. And it gets even rougher, let's say, if the character is getting a beat down. And so sometimes the line weight or how the lines are drawn for the speech balloon can convey maybe the emotional state or physical state of the character or both. And, you know, sometimes people will even tweak the font to make it fit as well. This is, I believe, a new comic, but there isn't, I don't see any speech balloons for me to show an example. Sakamoto Days, no speech balloons on this one. But the same thing applies to how they apply sound effects, speed lines, literally everything. So the style, their style extends fully. And I just realized that you guys can't see any of this. So I'll do it again. And this time, I believe is this. Yeah. So you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. You see here in Chainsaw Man, it's much more smooth, clean, thin, right? This is the approach. This is the style of the speech balloons here, right? You know, my hero ran away, so can't see that. But that's the approach here. You see another one. It's like cleaner, even for the more wild, yelling moments, right? It's a little chaotic, but it's still thin, clean lines. And then for Jujutsu, it's like really quick, rough, not too rough, but like straight lines. You can tell that it's manually drawn, or at least yes, manually drawn, like hand drawn to be more specific. And that's just the way things are done over here, and that's just the way the character, the artist rather, does what they do. You see here, you can feel the line weight and how the speech balloons are put together, and sometimes they overlap with each other. You see some overlapping here where the character is over the layer of the speech balloon. Same thing here, right? So that's a new style thing that I see that's a little bit more common these days. But you see similar things. See Sakamoto Days, see Bleach, right? So like I said, you can use the speech balloons to show an emotional state, a physical state of the character. Use that to convey everything. Hold on. What's that sound? Give me a second. Okay, as I was saying, it's a little technical difficulto that I'll get to in time. It's actually quite frustrating, but I'll figure that out later. But yeah, the speech balloon can convey the emotional and physical state sometimes. You can tell even with the balloon tail of Bleach or whatever, it's very scrawny, and it can be scrawnier depending on how badly beaten or sad or whatever, right? There are all kinds of ways to do speech balloons. You do softer lines or maybe more round lines for more bubbly characters. You know, usually when you have things with sharp edges is a sign of like danger or edge or cunning, whatever. And then the softer, more bubbly lines maybe for someone who's cute and blah, 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 blah. You get the gist. The bottom line is the art style extends to every single detail, down to the speed lines. All of them will do speed lines differently, down to the way backgrounds are drawn, down to the speech balloons, down to sound effects, right? Everything is on the table. And even when they have, right, this, you see this rough style. What's this one? Yeah, for Jujutsu, it's a little, the speed lines here are a little different. The sound effects are a little different. But then the background art is cleaner because that's another artist doing that, and usually that other artist has their own style to a degree. Yes, they're taking some direction, so everything is uniform overall in the end, but generally all kinds of styles are happening at once. But the main style we see is obviously of Gege Akutami, the creator of Jujutsu Kaisen, and the same goes for all the other series. You see Bleach, Full Metal, like everything is different. Style of how the speech, like see this one, the balloons are done with the brush. Sometimes that's something that's done. Some creators are doing it traditionally. Some are doing it digitally, and sometimes because of the media you're using, different things can happen. Also, let me make sure you guys can see and hear what I'm saying. All right, cool. So all kinds of stuff. Y'all get the gist. And today we're going to be doing it for Apple Black. And I think I'll also like to document these things. So just in case maybe someday in the future I'll have like another assistant maybe doing this specifically, they can see me doing it in real time, and then, you know, they'll be able to take over and take direction and yada, 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 yada. So let's see what we got here. But just real quick, these are like the books. You see the light novel, you see volume 5, volume 1 to 5. The light novel and volume 5 are available for pre-order. The other books are already available. Shout out to those who've gotten it. Shout out to those who've left reviews. Somebody actually did a full-on video review thing of Apple Black 1 to 4, and then, you know, maybe I'll do a reaction to that here live. I think should be a fun video to watch, because from the parts of the video that I have seen is pretty funny. But you can check out the reviews and leave reviews if you haven't already. But shout out to those who've gotten the books or supported me in any way. Again, don't forget to like the stream. Now for this music, hopefully we're safe. Hopefully we're safe with this music. And I'm gonna get into it. We're gonna make stuff happen, okay? Let me see here. So we got chapter 40, 41, and 42. So for 40, my pen, I will return. Ugh. See what we got here. Let me make sure this music is safe. The last thing I need is another hiccup. I'll just play what I know for a fact is safe. For a fact, and that's my own music. Can't trust y'all. This is a soundtrack from the Apple Black motion comic. So, enjoy. And let's get into it. So... So here's what we're gonna do. I'll show you guys in the stream how I make it happen. And you see here, I usually have a layer for the balloon itself, or sound effects, or whatever the case may be. So for instance, let's do this. You see, some of the balloons have been done, like the box ones. But in this one, sound effects, I usually just name the layer SFX. Zoom back. I'm trying to mimic that scratchy feel. I give it a stroke of about 15 pixels in white. You can't really see it because the back is white anyways, but I'm trying to get that scratchy style. And usually if it's an A, I swipe above. If it's a S, it's like going that. It's a H, I swipe above. It's a T, swipe above, and do that. So there's a way I do these, and I just make it scratchy. Speed balloons like this, I go to the layer I have there for balloons, and sometimes I go with light lines. Clean up. Now, obviously, there are tools in Clip Studio Paint, which is what I'm using to create this balloon from scratch, and sometimes it'll be a vector layer. But in this case, I like to manually do it myself, similar to how you can see those in Japan do. And I could do this as well with a vector layer. It's just that with vectors, it's not that easy to kind of fill in the balloon with white. Or at least it's just extra steps that I don't want to take, because I'm trying to do this quickly because I'm on a deadline. Now in this layer, it's not actually closed, right? Because if I select it, you can see it ends, right? It doesn't end just because the panel ends, because it's just a mask, and that's the thing with frame folders. So I have to actually close it even behind. If you saw the cursor, I have to close it. And then I cut a thing for the tail. Can make it a little longer, more dramatic towards his face area. This way I can then select what's inside. And if you guys can see that the path, you can see that it's closed now. Before that, I would have been selecting the whole panel. Anyways, I hit X to fill. I do it all on the same balloon layer because, again, I don't really care. I'm just doing it quickly. And I can actually just move it a little closer, because why not? Actually, no. I'll keep it where it is. And when the character is yelling, I tend to do the the yell myself versus actual text with the font. I'm just gonna show you guys how I do it for a couple pages, and then I'll kind of breeze through. Do it in a way where I can save time over here. And I'm doing that on its own layer just in case. Got some sound effects things going on. I'll get to them. I'm not actually doing the main drawings just yet. I'll get to all of those. I like to do this, the speed lines, balloons, everything except for the actual drawing of the characters. I like to do that before I even start drawing characters, and I like to do that for all the pages. So I've done it for every chapter so far except for these last 3. Again, making sure to add the stroke. I'll do something here where when I draw the character, the character will kind of be in front of the speed line, no, the speech balloon. Like it will kind of overlap with it a little bit. It doesn't matter now, just because I've not drawn the character just yet, so it doesn't matter. That one I can actually make bigger. You select it, make bigger. Some of the perks are working digitally. And then here's an example of doing the speed lines kind of proper, where we come here. And so I will go something like this. You see, I don't mind the lines not being perfect or straight or whatever, especially because he's like breathing heavy and I'm just doing it, So I don't mind it even being a little scratchy or a little bit. Just to mimic that high intense, heavy breathing, high heart rate vibe of everything. And then I come in and do that. Now I select it all. I hit X to change it to white, and I just fill. There are many ways to do this in Clip Studio Paint. This is just one of the most manual, hand-drawn ways to do it. And that's just what I want to do. You guys can find what works best for you, the same way all those other creators, all those shonen manga, all the manga I showed earlier. You see how they have their own ways, you can have yours. But you still want to make sure it works and still passes the basic foundation and principles of adding balloons to art. And after you do that, sometimes I can, just in case, move it around. The reason I have the text on first is because I want to know how big the balloon is going to be, so I make sure it fits perfectly, and I'm not trying to squeeze words into the balloon itself. Sometimes you might have to do that. Sometimes you can shorten the words if it's too wordy and stuff like that. You kind of learn over time and you find your own way. It's kind of like a mix and match way of doing things. There isn't one approach. You can do the other one first. Maybe you want to do the balloon first, so that when you're putting in the words, if it doesn't fit, maybe that's a sign that it's too wordy, and then you can rearrange the words or shorten it or whatever the case may be. But this is how I'm doing it. Sometimes I might even choose to increase the font later just because. There isn't one font size to use. Again, there are many ways to do these. There isn't one font size. There isn't one font to use. There's so much. You see some of those series are using completely different font. But yeah, for this panel, there isn't that. It's not that much word stuff, word salad going on. So this honestly is enough to get the job done for that page. Let's find a page that's a little bit wordier. Like, let's see, 15. Right, there's a lot more going on. You can see some of the backgrounds are done, and that's because the manga assistant has done some of the backgrounds. I might still need to go in and make some tweaks and edits to them, but for the most part, it's kind of done. And then let me make sure you guys are still there. Everything's still good. Again, give the video a thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this kind of content and seeing the behind the scenes of this. I'm going to try and stream almost every day. I'll try to, at least. That's the plan. And if you guys are enjoying the streams, I'll do more of the streams. And I'll test it out on Twitch. I'll test it out on YouTube. But the goal is to have you guys learn, spend more time with y'all, have more fun. It's part of the reason why I can't make that many videos, because I'm working on this. So I'm trying to see if I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone to help a brother out. Give the like, subscribe, share, do whatever you need to do. Support the stream. Let's have a manga making stream, a go-to on YouTube, because I don't think anybody's doing this. I mean, there are people who live stream making their comics, but I don't think in this way where they're fully showing them behind the scenes. And maybe I'll even do stuff where we're interacting with other manga assistants while they're doing, so working simultaneously while I'm doing stuff, they're doing stuff. It's almost like being in the room. I think that'll be cool. I don't know how we'll make it work, but the more this is supported, the more, we will figure it out over time. And, maybe this is the beginning of something new. I'll still be making the regular videos, right? Because I think those are just necessary. But I think this could be cool. But yeah, the backgrounds you're seeing, they're unedited, unreviewed. I still need to tweak them, but they're what the assistants have done based off of my sketches. And I have a video making 150 pages in 100 days that kind of breaks it down how I work with assistants. And you guys will be able to see that. I actually have more assistants this year, probably too many assistants this year, but that's kind of how we're doing things. So here, we trying to do the speech balloon. And sometimes I go in with black because the character is kind of yelling. And every moment so we take breaks, and I'll hear what you guys have to say and answer any questions. And I guess I'll prioritize super chats and everything, but I'll answer everybody's questions as best as I can, super chat or not. So this character is angry and yelling and yada yada yada. So this is how I'm doing it. Y'all can also leave in the comments how you guys do speech balloons, because there's some of you guys who already make comics, and it'd be interesting to see what you guys do. I want like a sharp pointy edge, and so I'm cleaning it up just to make sure it has that pointy edge. I do the same thing to the tail sometimes. overlapping with. Oh, actually, let me see. It's actually going to be it's actually going to be one balloon, but it has two emotions. So I'm going to clean that. It's almost like he's yelling for the first part, and then he's calming down. He's still angry for the second part, and that's why it's still scratchy a little bit. And then I select it. I make sure I'm just on that layer. I select it, boom, and there you go. Move things around just in case. I'm still on that same balloon layer. I have one balloon layer in the frame folder to do all of this. That way if I turn it on and off, it's just that. It also gives me a chance to review some of the words. Do that. And sometimes I'll give it a stroke if I just want to see what's happening. See, this one is cleaner just because of the dialogue was being said. It's just kind of smooth. The lines are smoother, and this is my style, my approach to doing this. Select all of them at once. And that's really what we're going to be doing. The placement of balloons is also crucial. You want to make sure it's not all chaotic and everything is hard. You don't know which one to read first. So you read this, 2, 3, 4 in this nice approach. Right? Guiding the viewer's eye throughout the whole thing. Another thing I do sometimes is if somebody's talking and they're not in the panel, we can't see them in the panel. Not even we can't see nothing about no body part. There's nothing to points the balloon tail to, the speech balloon tail to. I'll have the text be pretty much above almost all the layers, and I'll have the balloon, a new balloon, to show that the words are coming from outside the balloon. And I reflect that by having the balloon itself overlap with the panel. Again, this is just the method to my madness. You don't have to do this. You guys can do balloons and panels and whatever your own way. Yeah, I like to give it that sharp edge. So this one doesn't have a tail because the character speaking is not in the shot. And then I select, fill. You see this one, I can move it around, right? But I just have it slightly popping out of the panel. Just also hints that whoever's talking is not in the panel as well. Can we increase the font size if I want? And then I can go back to panels and continue like normal. I'll have those characters talking, but he kind of gets overpowered and interrupted, so I'll have the other speech balloon kind of overpower the first one and go over it. So you can get artsy with it. Just, like I said, have a method to your madness. Actually, you see now, I tried to select the one at the top, but I didn't close it outside of the mask, and so it's selecting the whole thing. I'm going to close it right there. And now you can see the path, and you see I've closed it. Hit X, boom. I'll still need to come here and fix some things, like some things about the backgrounds that I don't particularly think are correct, and maybe some lines being too thick in certain areas, right? But I'll tweak that another time. Now these ones is another example of like people talking who aren't in the panel, and so might even add a chibi right there to make it clear who is talking. But the speech balloon line will kind of overlap with the panel lines to also indicate that. I'm usually consistent with that approach throughout the whole comic. Then when the character is thinking in their head, I usually just give the text a stroke. So like a white stroke around it if it's black, and if it's white, maybe a black stroke around it. You could do things like this where you have like blah 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 and then right? This is another way of doing it. Or you do stuff like this and then you go again, this is another style of doing it. Well, a common style is just to have the text be around maybe the character's head and give it a white stroke. You can't see it here because everything behind it is white, but once the character is inked and the parts that are supposed to be filled in black are filled in black, you kind of see what I'm talking about. If you've gotten volume 1 to 4, you've seen what I've done it in other places. So I'd have it be... Yeah. So right here, I believe he's thinking. And, yeah. So there's no balloon for this one. It's just to be left, pretty much left alone. And then that's that for this page. That's that for this page. I'll still need to come back and draw. Maybe put like a chibi here, a chibi here. For the two different characters that are talking in that panel. At least not in the panel, but where the balloon thing is placed. But that's the end of 15. So I've done 1, 2, 15, 21, yada yada yada. I need to do 13? No, 3? I need to have it come up. Yeah, 3. Yeah, 4. And you can see some of the backgrounds are already done, thanks to the manga assistant. Now, like I said, I'll need to come in and tweak it a little bit for some of the backgrounds, but for the most part, it's much easier on me if a lot of it is done already. Even like mentally, it's just like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about that panel, because, you know, it's done. This one's a wordy one. We'll get to it. Just opening up the pages so I can just start knocking them out one by one. At least for this chapter. Let's do 2 more chapters and then we'll be done. And I think once I'm done with all of that, then I go and start inking the characters. And as soon as I'm done inking characters, I can send the pages back to the manga assistants to either color or tone or, you know, do whatever I direct them to do. And while I'm doing this, you know what we can do is you guys can drop some questions if you have any questions. Like I said, I'll be going through some questions to see what the, you know, trying to answer whatever I can as best as I can. And then we'll go from there. So before I start adding the speech balloons to all of these, let me just open them. Let me at least open them, and then we'll answer some questions from the chat. Okay, I've done this one already, so just cancel this. So 16. Okay. Some pages will be easier to do or quicker. It's all easy laying this stuff down, but some pages are easier than others. And there will be some parts where maybe I might want to put in speed lines and sound effects, so those will take a little longer. But again, these, I could be done with these 3 chapters today. At least the speech balloons and the speed lines and the sound effects. Not the drawing. The drawing of the characters, that might take a little bit. Take a couple more days. All right, let's see some of these questions. Let's see some of these questions. Whew. All right, Xeon, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let me see what else we got here. Again, you guys, don't forget to like the chat. We got 100 people in the stream. Shout out to y'all. Let's keep growing this community, growing this. At least this. Let's see if we can make it a series where anytime I'm making a manga page, I'm pretty much going live. Maybe not anytime, just because there will be some pages and panels and stuff like that that might be a bit too spoilery. But for the most part, anytime I'm working on stuff, I can like stream it here on YouTube. We can cultivate that. Tell your moms, tell your friends, tell everybody. But let me see. Any questions? Who got cues? Is it possible to use Clip Studio Paint on Mac with a mouse? Is it possible to use Clip Studio Paint on a Mac? Yes, that's what I'm using right now. With the mouse to draw? Technically, yes. Would it be better if you had a tablet? I think so. But, you know, maybe you draw better with a mouse. I doubt it. Or a touchpad. I doubt it. But it's not impossible. It would be really impressive if you could pull it off. What program are you using now to look at the pages? It's Clip Studio Paint. Will Ryuzaki shake back? You're gonna have to get the books to know. Volume 4, Volume 1 to 4, Season 1 of Apple Black. Those can help out a great deal. And you guys can see other Saturday AM series above my head that we publish or are available right now or available for pre-order, including a how to draw book, a how to draw the verse manga, and another how to draw book that's on the way. So hopefully you guys check that out. Do you ever use Comic Draw app anymore? I haven't used it recently, to be honest, but I still have it. I just haven't used it recently because I don't have a use right now for it. Because when it comes to Clip Studio Paint, it's just for making comics, webtoon, scroll format comics, you know, flip page, whatever. It's just better right now. So that's what I use. Just by watching both, it seems like you have more viewers here. I don't know if you're talking about Twitch. maybe. I could never just be a letterer. Well, some people are that, and they get paid for it. So, some people can. I love Hammer's art style. I'm sure Jay would appreciate that. That's cool. This is live. I thought you posted a vid. Oh, well, here we are. Is the music loud? I reduced the music now. Does it mean I take willpower in your opinion? I'd say so. I'd say so. Because the amount of manga pages I've done, and I'm not even on the level of like Oda or Giga, like those guys have made hundreds of chapters. I've not even made up to 100 chapters. I don't think I've made up to 50 chapters. If you add all the chapters I've ever made plus one shots, it's not even up to 50. It's close, but it's not up to 50. And so you count down all the pages and you average out, how many pages per chapter you're looking at, anywhere from 20 to 30. So I've done over almost 1,000, if not more than 1,000 pages of manga, and it's a lot. And especially if you have a long running series. And then there's also the aspect of it's not always as rewarding. It's not like we have 100,000 viewers watching right now, or that much money. Like, you really have to be super popular, and people have to support your book and buy it and stuff like that for you to truly make a living on it, off of this. And you need to be able to do it at the highest level. And there's a lot of people who know about you, checking out your stuff. Good, the content itself has to be good, and they have to be like financially supporting, kind of like that kind of audience. And so you need that in droves to really have this as a full-time thing. Thankfully for me, and thanks to you guys, I'm able to do this. I'm able to do some comic consulting stuff, editing stuff. I'm basically a comic editor, art director for Sandstorm Comics. And obviously I do what I do with Saturday AM, and then what I do with just social media in general. Just those three alone. There's other stuff, but just those alone, I'm able to do everything I'm doing. I don't have any non-comic manga related job or a 9 to 5 or anything like that. But it's still very hard. It's still tough. You still have a lot of work to do. And the good thing is that the more work you put in is kind of what you get out. So I'm really trying to get to a position where I'm able to even make even more YouTube videos, because that'll also help, do more stuff, Twitch, just, I just need to figure it all out and do the math. Maybe get more video assistants as well, because I think that'll help. And that will help. Guaranteed that will help. And, everybody can be eaten. But let me see what else I get. Murata used to stream. Yes, I've seen some of the Murata streams. So I think some artists have done streams. But I was just saying, like, in a more like, you see me engaging with the manga assistants and giving them direction and blah, 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 blah. Like, just do something different and unique that's never been done. It's possible to figure it out here on YouTube. So hopefully you guys support the video. Again, like the video, share, comment, subscribe, support the streams, and we'll see if we could do more and figure that part out. Can't wait for Volume 5. Thank you. Volume 5 Apple Black. Yep, that's what we're working on. Debut and remastered version will come to Saturday AM issues. A remastered version, not quite yet, but very possible. And especially when you see Saturday Wars, it might, take your fancy a little bit. Let me see. Different art styles, different ways. Yeah, there'll be more video ideas coming to the channel. I'll be doing a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Any tips putting your character on a panel? Hold on. Any motivate me a lot. Thank you, man. You guys kind of motivate me in return by supporting the videos, supporting the books and stuff like that. The more you guys do that kind of stuff, the more it helps the channel, helps me out, helps a great deal. You guys have no idea. Yeah, JJK, he Giga draws anything like it's a storyboard. Yes, including the speech balloons. So that's what we're here to do, and we'll kind of go from there. Will you ever make a manga style anime opening for Apple Black? No, no, no. I don't think. I mean, ever. I would just make an anime. Hopefully one day. But I can see myself maybe crowdfunding an anime sequence or something like that. That would be cool. Maybe it'll help with pitches and blah blah blah. But it'll just be a fun thing to do if you guys are interested in it. And I can see myself maybe doing like a Kickstarter to just fund that kind of thing and seeing what the cool opportunities can be derived from maybe an anime opening or animating a particular scene or something like that. It's just gonna cost a lot, and it's gonna be obviously more time. But hopefully with something like that happen in the future, yes. There are also some fan animations here and there of Apple Black that some of you guys have done, which I thought was really cool. Some of you guys, even some of the people who did that actually went on to animate on One Piece, the infamous Gear 5 episode too. So that was cool. Thanks for having this live. Just hopped on not too long ago. Really enjoyed the stream. What's the size of the brush? The size of the brush kind of varies. It kind of goes up and down. Just whatever works in the moment, right? Especially when you're working on a tablet, the pen pressure also matters. So I can reduce the brush size a little bit, but if I press really hard, it'll be bigger than usual. So it's a combination of everything. Is typing or writing the text visually better? If your handwriting looks better, then yeah. But the text for the general words visually would just be to pick a font that works and stick with that. And then on occasion you can do some handwritten stuff, which is what I do. And I only do the handwritten stuff for like yells or sound effects or stuff like that. But generally the text, you want it in an actual font, which also helps translations later on because they can just copy and paste and do the translation and put it right back. Handwritten stuff is, I imagine, a little bit more difficult to translate when that time comes. Apple Black has actually been translated to Turkish and will soon be translated to French and Japan. And so you guys watch out, stay tuned for that. Where have I been all this time? Working. Thanks for checking on me. I've been in the box, working. All right, so we got more people on the stream, and now I'm going to get back to it. You guys can leave your questions here. I'll occasionally come back to check on them, whatever questions you may have. I'm going to be adding some speech balloons, sound effects in some places, and speed lines in some places. And then we will kind of go from there. That is the plan. That is the plan. Also, if you guys see any typos, let me know. So I'm trying to add speed lines with a simple perspective ruler. And then usually with these, you kind of do in threes first, and you give it room, and then you can add later on. So you're thinking threes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Eventually, I'll draw the character and it'll overlap over the speed lines. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you want to make sure it's like, you're not coming to a direct point, you're like, it's like a strip. And then you can now go a little more chaotic and add more lines once you're done with it. I only want to add speed lines to the parts of the floor. And maybe a little bit in the top, but nothing too, not much at all. Turn that off. Erase parts of it that I don't want. Sometimes you can duplicate before you erase just in case you want the original. It might have been wiser, but it's fine. Actually, I want to add a couple more right here. All these will be kind of edited when I draw the character, which will kind of overlap with stuff, but for now, we'll take that. Usually I have stuff like this for when the character is breathing heavy. Sometimes I do it the way you saw earlier in the stream, or sometimes I do it like this. I believe I saw something similar in a vagabond or something like that. Maybe the lines were a little thinner, but this is how I do it over here. And then once that is done, you hold shift to select multiple. And I do that, and then maybe I'll ask that one. It doesn't even matter how I put it. There's a randomness to it, but it's like a huff or a half or a huff. You know, remove the vowel sometimes. And that can help. Simple sound effects. So 20. I want this one to maybe be over there. Period. I like this process because it gives me time to read the words a little more, and I'm subconsciously thinking of ways to make it better. Another thing is like I like to have the speech balloons within the panel, like inside the panel, not always above. Again, I only have it overlap the panel if the character is not in the panel. I explained that earlier. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, it's just a method to my madness, and you just need to figure out yours. Unless your method is madness, then it's probably going to be confusing to read anyways. You see, something like this, the character isn't in the panel, and so there isn't any balloon tail. And it's not necessarily overlapping over the panel just because it's within the panel anyways. Like if I pushed it a little bit further, like I could push it so that you can see that it's overlapping the panel, but because it's because of where the text is placed, you don't get to see it anyways, and I don't always have to force it, so this is fine. However, if I was going to force it, then I do something like this over here, and I'll do this one maybe above, just to show some continuity or whatever. Then I'll take that and all the words within that and make sure I place it above everything. Maybe increase the font size. There's a lot of room. Your text should always be center aligned. And then if we wanted to be sticklers, then yes. Now speaking of that balloon, this one definitely overlaps. Because the character is not in this panel. So I'm having the font, the speech balloon overlap in this, on the panel on the left. And he's talking in the one on the right, so I just kind of continue it into the right. There is a video on the channel called How to Letter Manga that goes into a little bit more detail, and you guys can watch that if you want to understand even more. I just need to make sure I pull the words. Thank you. You still want to make sure the words are above the balloon layer. But then for the panel on the left, I'll make sure I go to that panel specifically. And then we're done with this page. Makes sense. Are we making sense? Let's see what you guys are saying. Volume 5 is not out, but is available for pre-order. Wait, is that cyberpunk music? Nope, that's original Apple Black music from the motion comic we did for the first 3 chapters. It's also available on the channel, so it's original music. Anime before Volume 5. Getting an animating something before Volume 5, that's different, right? Or getting something animated in a cool way, that's different. But like a proper anime before Volume 5, probably not. Probably not. Now, again, I've mentioned before that we're in talks. Like some talks are happening behind the scenes, but at best, even if they get finalized, then an anime will be announced before Volume 5 or maybe slightly after or whatever the case may be. But the way I see things going, probably a little bit more time before that solidifies properly. Especially if you guys go buy the books. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. How many pages would a one-shot story consist of? It completely depends on you. It depends on the story. How many pages does the story need? Or are you trying to enter a contest? What are the rules of that contest? How many pages do they say it has to have? It completely depends on you. It could be 5. It could be 50. It could be 30. It's up to you. It's usually around anywhere from 30 to, or shoot, anywhere from like 5 to 50, but that's such a wide range. It's really up to you. It could even be 100. Watching from New York, shout out to you. EFX. Thanks for everybody hopping on the stream. We had like, I know we have like, you know, dancing above around 100 people. Kiba is in the chat. Kiba Odon, that is Kiba is the manga assistant I've had the longest. So I've had Kiba for what, 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and he's helped me a lot. So shout out to Kiba. Some of the best backgrounds you've seen are probably Kiba. You know, obviously I got manga assistants in like volume 4, and I still have to sketch the background to a degree so that the manga assistants know what they're drawing. And the better I draw it, the better I sketch it, the better they are able to execute. But Kiba executes really well, so shout out to Kiba. They all do, but Kiba's been with me the longest, so he really knows what I'm looking for more than most, 9 times out of 10. And Kiba did the short story one shot in for Apple Black in Saturday Annual 2024. It was a sad story, so you guys can go read that. Let me know if you cry, or at least get sad or something. And if you don't have a soul. If you don't like my story, you suck. Anyways, let me see here what we have. Huge fan, working on chapter 13 of my work myself. Huge inspiration. Can't wait for volume 5. Thank you, PDK, Renegade. How many arcs will Apple Black have? Okay, this is a new one. How many arcs will Apple Black have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. I'll go 8. 8, which is cool because we all talk about the infinite night in the story, and you know, 8, if you put 8 sideways, it's the infinity sign. So 8. out of curiosity, you guys can let me know in the chat, like how many if you've gotten, if you're reading Apple Black, what chapter are you on? Just let me know in the chat. Also, if you're reading Apple Black at all, just let me know in the chat. And while you guys are doing that, let me know what chapter you're on or what volume you're on, or if you're reading at all. Just let me know in the chat. And while you guys are doing that, I'll be ballooning the next. And also, you can also put in questions you guys might have. I'll be ballooning the next page. There will be some panels that I just feel like doing, and I'll just do them right there, quickly. Boom. I don't have to worry about them anymore. I'm thinking of something to tweak the dialogue a bit. going to do something here because it's flashbacky. So I'll be there. And then what I could do is duplicate twice. And then slap it. Shoot, 3 times. And then I can slap them in each frame folder. So over here, it would have gone to the bottom, but we need it above it all. And then here, we need it above it all. And here, we need it above it all. Maybe not above text. Just in case. Because in this frame, this character right here is gonna overlap. Where is it? Yeah, this one. It's overlapping over everything. And just say Ruby. Okay. See, sometimes I'll make the lines of the balloon a little thicker. If, you know, the line is supposed to be delivered a little bit more intensely. Maybe I'll even, to match it, I was thinking that too. Then, the issue is that not enough room. I will free transform, do that. Select. Let's go. Down. Now we go here. Same thing. Okay. I think we're good. Needs to save. So, let's see what else you guys got going on. What else can we do here? See what else y'all have in the stream. Any more questions? OMG, this is such a rare treat. Thank you. Don't forget to like the video, like the stream, subscribe, all that stuff. Support the streams, and there will be more streams. You're going to do 32 volumes of Apple Black? No. No. Altogether, I've talked about the whole series being about anywhere from 20 to 23 volumes. There was a time where I could see it being longer, but that's not the case. I've looked at the story overall. I think 20 to 23 volumes. And even then, it could even be a situation where Apple Black itself ends at like maybe volume 17. And then the rest of it is like it's almost like a new series, even though it's a sequel, but it's like a new series. But altogether, like 20 volumes or 23. It depends. Probably 23 is more likely, to be honest. Yeah, that's the plan. Finally made it, Prince arrived. How long you been doing this? What, I've watched your videos since I was like, I'm 24 now. Hey man, we're getting older. We're getting older. But I'm adding speech balloons and sound effects and all that good stuff to some pages right here. That's what we're doing right now. So welcome. Can you bring back pre-volume 5 covers? Pre-volume 5 covers. I don't know what that means. Can't wait for volume 5. Just pre-ordered it. Shout out to you. You guys can pre-order volume 5 and order volume 1 to 4 if you haven't already. Leave reviews. Let's see some. Let's you know what? Let's see some. Let's see some reviews real quick. See if I can facilitate that. Can I? So it'll be, let's see. Let's look at volume 5 reviews. This is not on Goodreads. There's not that many. Let's see here. You got Wizard Jesus. You got kicked off interesting world. All the manga found. Blah 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 blah. Ultimately, they enjoyed it, right? Look at the 5-star to 4-star ratio. There's no 3-star, no 2-star, no 1-star. Now, to be fair, it's only 15 people that have come. Nobody really knows Goodreads like that. So, but yeah, a year now. Author said blah 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 blah. You know, you guys can go read these and enjoy them. Got stuff here. You got some more goodies. Have sale, stand stuff to read. You know? So people's is enjoying it. You feel me? Feel me, dog? Huh? And all the other Saturday AM books as well. Let's see, there's been a bunch. Clock Striker Volume 2. Orisha. Hammer Volume 5. Apple Black Volume 5. Saturday Wars. Which is like our Infinity War Endgame. That's going to be coming together. Kind of like the manga crossover. And that's being put together. I have some pages in it, right? It's really cool because it's like when they visit different worlds, it'll be the art style of that creator. So when they're in my world in the story, it's my art that's in front of your face. So that's really cool, right? But Eddie the artist here, he is in charge of when they're all in a singular universe. He's the art style for that universe, and that's mostly where the stuff takes place. So that'll be fun. It's difficult to put together, trust me, especially when we kind of want to have a standalone. There may be a sequel for it for sure, but like we want the book to kind of stand alone to a degree as well. So it's not easy to put together, but I think it's still when came out great, right? Reminiscent of that Marvel, DC, Secret Wars, Infinity War, Crisis on Infinite Earth type stuff put together. Some Easter eggs for those who are like hardcore Apple Black Saturday AM fans. You catch some of those, so I think it'll be really cool. Trying something different. But yeah. You guys can also pre-order that. That should be out this year. Yeah, my schedule is hectic, especially because like if it would have been different if Apple Black is all I did every day, all day, every day. But like I do a couple other things, and it's not easy. What website can I read Apple Black on? You can't. You can read the first 3 chapters on pilotmanga.com. You can watch the first 3 chapters on this channel with voice acting and a little bit of motion comics, so you can enjoy it there. But to read the whole thing, there isn't a site. There are some old manga scanlation sites that have like the old version of Apple Black, like the really old version of Apple Black, so it's outdated. It's not really what it's supposed to be. And so some chapters are missing, like the chapter 2 there is pretty much the chapter 4 in the actual book. So you're not really getting the proper experience. Watching videos since high school. You're helped me improve my art style, character design. Prince Seraph, shout out to you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, man. Appreciate watching the videos. Appreciate everybody watching the videos. And then, yeah, if you support the streams, there will be more streams. That's how we're doing it. If streams are not, like, nobody really cares about streams, then, there will be no point to me doing them, I guess. How do you feel about your work being adapted into another format in the future, like animated series? I mean, obviously that would be amazing. Or simply just a manga dub, that would be amazing. Even if it was adapted into like a scroll format with colors, I'm down, however people consume it and enjoy the story, that I'm usually down with it. Usually. Especially in anime, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Alright, so no more questions. I said pilotmanga.com. You can read the first 3 chapters anywhere else, or you can just buy the books, volume 1 to 4, on Amazon or whatever store. But to just get all the chapters for free, there isn't a place to do that right now, at least digitally. But you can just get the books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, anywhere manga is sold, really. You can get it there. And if it's not inside the store already, you can ask the front desk to order it for you. But if there's like a free place to just read it, you can read it in the Saturday AM magazine that comes out bi-weekly, but the magazine is up to date. It's like if you go to the magazine right now and you check the latest Apple Black installment, it will be the latest chapter, kind of, So you might not fully know what's going on. So it's to start from chapter 1 to the end, to where we are right now. There isn't a place to do it. Even the scanlation sites, they stop at like again, it's an old, outdated form, and they stop at like chapter 6. So they can't even steal properly. But they stop at chapter 6, and it's not even really chapter 6. It's more like chapter 8. So they have it all mixed up, so I wouldn't recommend reading that. The best way to follow the series is to actually get the books. But we're working on things to make the chapters more accessible and giving new ways for people to consume all our stuff. Apple Black, Clock Striker, Massive Multiplayer, World of Ghost, Hammer, Titan King, Oblivion Rouge, Yellow Stringer, Grimheim, Henshin, Gunhild. Some of our works have actually gotten awards, which I thought was cool. Either nominated or it won the award. Like Clock Striker actually won an award where it was up against Fujimoto's One Shot. Was it Call Me? Well, I forgot what it was called. And Clock Striker won. So that was really cool. And it's like the American Library Association Award type thing, right? And we won that. We won. Frederick won. Saturday AM won. And that was really cool. So our books are really enjoyed. Hopefully you guys go check that out. So you guys can, if you have more questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'll be going back to the ballooning, if that makes sense. Yeah, this one is tricky. It might be. Let's see. That's pretty much it for this panel or this page, because the panels at the top, he's thinking in his head, so they don't have balloons, and so those are fine. Maybe I'll italicize that, but that's pretty much it. What I could also do is pull it out, because yeah. And that's that. Okay, now this one. So I'm a little tricky. It's tricky because here I realized that I want the sometimes I'll do that. And use the line to bring it in. I did that because his hand was not centered. I wanted it to be centered. It was bothering me. And then, yeah, that's that. actually. I might come back and like reduce the words a tad. That's just a test to make sure it works. Alright, let's see what y'all doing. Whew. So I have to do this for about 70 pages today. It must be done today. Worst case, maybe tomorrow morning, but like, I need to finish this today. So, weird question, but you ever... weird question. Do you ever get neck and back pain from your drawing positions? Honestly, recently, no, but it's definitely a worry of mine. So, I do try to adjust and just kind of chill sometimes and just kind of relax. But I also make sure not to be sitting down all the time. Like, I do exercise, I do stuff like that. I play soccer, you know, and yeah, I don't want to be like the manga artist that spends 90% of their year just like this, you know. I also want to kind of sit back and learn to draw like this a little bit more often. It's just I'm so used to being engaged, like inside of it, but it's something I worry about. And hence why sometimes when I draw, when I'm working on the manga, I want to be working on the manga like only in the spring. Only in the spring. I work on the manga in the spring, maybe a little bit before the end of the year to prepare for the spring. And then I'm doing other things throughout the year because, you know, I have to allocate my time better and, you know, what brings in the most money and yada, 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 yada to do this for a living properly. And so I can also do it longer. And I don't want to spend, like I said, 90% of my year sitting down like a weirdo. Even though the other parts I'm going to be drawing as well, probably. But at least it's not intense. It's not like some deadline on my neck and yada, yada, yada. So it's going to be very different from how it's done in Japan and, you know, with my schedule and everything like that. I'm still working it out. It's not perfect, but so far so good. But I think I also make time to do some stretches and I play some sports and I do other things, you know. Make sure you're not sitting down in the same spot all the time. Around perspective drawing like that room, I ain't so good with. I know. Sometimes I'll sketch something and I have to ink it and I'll be like, why did I sketch this? The sketch looks fine, but now I gotta figure it out. But that's just the way it is. What music or genre do you listen to while you're working on your project? I work on, this is from Teroya. And shout out to you. I've seen a lot of your comments. I appreciate everybody who supports, even if you've not gotten the books, but you support by engaging in the content, liking the videos, that kind of stuff. I really appreciate those. But I listen to all kinds of stuff. I listen to everything except country. Although it depends. I will listen to a little Johnny Cash, maybe a Willie Nelson cover, but mostly it's hip hop and alternative rock. Mostly. Some really rock and rolly type stuff, but for the most part, alternative rock like a Radiohead, Coldplay, or like a weird type of rock like that, or hip hop, yay, the new weird stuff, you know, smoke perp, like all kinds of stuff. If it sounds good, I'm usually listening to it. And then lastly, what's also up there is soundtracks, like movie soundtracks, TV show soundtracks, like Westworld soundtrack, the HBO Watchmen soundtrack, which in a way inspired the soundtrack that I made for the manga motion comic. So I listen to all kinds of stuff. Do you still scan in your pencil sketch outline? Scan? What do you mean? Whatever do you mean? What would be the best way to send SatDam business proposal and yourself? The info at saturday-am.com or publisher at saturday-am.com, or you just yell at us on social media or DM us. You know, somebody's gonna see it. but the email, I guess, is the most proper if it's a proper business proposal. 17 or 70 pages. 70. So let me show you guys. This is this chapter. I have to finish doing it for this chapter. Then I have to do it for this chapter. And then I have to do it for this chapter. I've already done it for all the chapters prior to this. And volume 5 ends at chapter 42. You can actually see some of the details on the Saturday AM Wikipedia page. I don't know who made the Wikipedia page, but it's actually a proper Wikipedia. I don't know how that got made, but one day it was just there. But it has some stuff, some updated stuff as well. So Apple Black Wikipedia, Saturday AM Wikipedia, or you go to our website, you get more details. But volume 5 has 10 chapters in it. It has the most chapters ever for any volume so far. But at the end of the day, it's still the same page count. It's just a situation where there are more normal page counts in volume 5. That's why it's 10 chapters, but it's still around the same page count for volume 4, right? I don't know if that makes sense. It's around the same page count, just not the same chapter count. But I have to do the speech balloons and sound effects and speed lines for all of these. The reason why I just like to get them out the way, because I don't have to think too much about them. Like inking, sometimes you have to ink it and make sure it's nice and yada 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 and whatever, and take a step back and review and go back. But like the speech balloons is like, and that way progress is being made. And then also that way, once I start inking, once I'm done with this, and then I start inking characters and like finalizing that, I can send it quickly back to the manga assistants, and then they can begin toning, and they can just begin toning. As soon as I'm done, they get it tone. There's some pages that are going to be, there's a chapter in volume 5 that's going to be like 90% color, and so I want to actually do those first. That way I can direct the people in charge of coloring sooner rather than later, and they can get on that. Because the manga assistants, I expanded the manga assistants this year, and some of them are going to be working on color stuff and some other secret projects, almost like building like a little mini white manga studio. That way I can take on multiple projects at the same time, and also give these guys an opportunity, because then depending on the project, maybe there's more funding and yada yada yada. So it'll be a cool thing that I'm trying to build. I just you got to start somewhere. And hopefully you guys support everything that we're doing over here. Like I mentioned earlier, somebody sent me an image of our like an Apple Black shirt inside a Hot Topic in its own section, and so you guys support that. It's definitely on the website, so definitely go support the shirts on Hot Topic, Apple Black, Clock Striker stuff. The more that those guys see that we're worth investing in, the more they're going to put back into it. It's all about support, and we'll do our best to make sure we're putting out good content and quality stuff, so you guys, when you're supporting, you're getting your money's worth too. So shout out to those who supported. Anyways, 70 pages, not 17. But it's not the worst, just because, again, I'm not inking the characters. I'm doing the speech balloons, sound effects, and speed lines, and not all pages have sound effects and speed lines. Not all pages even have balloons, but most of them do. Most of the panels do, and so I'm just figuring that out. I still have to ink all of them. I've not done that, right? And it's more than 70 to do that. It's over 200, but that's not due today. That's not due tomorrow, but it's due soon, very soon. I am far more behind on volume 5 than I was on volume 4 last year. Now we made it in volume 4 thanks to putting in all the hard work, and then the assistants also doing really good in hard work. But this year is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's going to be a lot more difficult because I have way less time for more pages, more than 150. The good thing is, as you can see, all the pages I've kind of begun on them. You know what I mean? It's like most of the pages are not complete, but all of the pages I've started on. I don't know if that makes sense. Is Bukasi in progress? Bukasi is something, that's another thing where I want to give myself time to do that kind of stuff. And I can see myself at least finishing the next chapter of Bukasi, maybe sometime this year or next year. At least finishing that first chapter at the very least. And then maybe that'll run in Saturday Annual 2026 or 7 or whatever. Been watching since 2013. Thank you. Oh, just the balloon sound effects and lines. I thought you were... No, not fully rendered, no. Okay. Will we ever get a Bukasi Volume 1? Honestly, if the studio-ish thing I'm building is strong enough, then yeah. But for now, the main priority is Apple Black. We may finish the Bukasi chapter, because a lot of people enjoyed that. A lot of people enjoyed Bukasi. Some even enjoyed it more than Apple Black, to be honest. But Apple Black is the priority right now. And so that takes precedence. So the first chapter of Bukasi, sure. A volume of Bukasi, I don't quite know yet. And I have some stories. I have some ideas and stuff, but there's only one me. You know what I'm saying? There's only one me. If I could find a clone or somebody who's like really close to my art style and I can be like a writer or something like that, then yeah. So in a way, yes, but it's uncertain. What was the origins of the name Apple Black for a title? That's a kind of a long story. It used to be called Strawberry Black, but it's a long story, and I don't even know where to begin for that one. But the series has had multiple name changes in the beginning, in the very beginning. But okay, you guys can drop more cues, and I'll go back to the ballooning. See if we can at least get this chapter done. What's the time? How many pages can we do in 15 minutes? Let's see. Ugh. See, I'm trying to, let's see if I can draw with our back correctly. Yeah, so straighten your back, straighten your neck. Somebody did some gangbuster background stuff here. Okay. Woof. So what else y'all got going on? Let's see what we're talking about here. This is thank you for encouragement. Thank you for the video. Thank you guys for showing up. Bakasi over Kagurabachi. Aroda-Sano versus Sukuna. Who wins? I just recently started watching JJK, so I don't know. But who do I have my money on? Easy W. Easy W for Arodas. Have you read Astro Baby? No. Agreed. Bakasi smokes Midurabachi. Glad you guys like Bakasi, even though Bakasi barely scratched the surface. But it's good to know that you guys enjoyed it. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see you at work. Relax, inspiration. What's the process? This is the process, mate. It's raw, yeah. It's raw, yeah. It's the process. All right, guys. I think for the rest of it, I'm going to power through, see how many I can get. Right. I think it was good to show you guys how I do the speech balloons. And, you know, maybe one day if there's like an assistant, they can, and I have an assistant handling this, they'll have something to refer back to, which I think would be cool. But in the grand scheme of things, I think we've streamed for like 3 hours now, and I think I need to go eat something. You know, you gotta take your breaks, and so I gotta take a break. I can't sit down. It's not even healthy to do so. So. We will be ending the stream, but please like the video, subscribe, leave comments, thoughts, share, all that stuff. Y'all know what to do. I appreciate y'all, and it's free 99. So, let me see. I think you guys are showing up to the stream again. Please go get volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Get some other Saturday AM books. Try them out. You can read the reviews of the books if you want before you get them. Saturday Wars is on its way this year. The light novels, if you guys are interested in the Apple Black light novel, look at it right there. On its way this year. The content I had to create for it. This is another thing, right? I'm making multiple books, right? That book is coming out this year, and I wrote the book. At least the story of it. Now, for it to be prose and spread out to like a novel length and stuff like that, I didn't do that. I got help from Stephanie Williams, who's done work for Marvel, DC, so shout out to her. But I had to come up with that book, and it's a light novel, so there's some art, and the art's in color, and that's had to be done. And the cover, there's so much stuff that pulls me left, right, center, all that kind of stuff, that, you know, technically that's my 5th book, even though it's a prequel to the events of what's happening in the manga. But that's technically my 5th book. But volume 5 also is to drop this year. And I've played a hand in like the how to draw books as well. Like there's so much I'm doing. And eventually something's got to give, and I need to figure it all out, because I still got to do some. I don't want to abandon the channel. I want to grow the channel even more, right? This is not the end of the channel. I want to see what the channel can evolve to become, and so that'll come with help from you guys and support. So hopefully we figure that out and we get it all sorted. But a lot to go over. Saturday Annual, I played a role in that as well. So there's a Apple Black short story in that, and I did some work for. So there's like so much. So yeah, wish me luck. It's one manga, and I'm Audi 9000.